Yeah, I mean, for a while, I did the same thing. I'd look for stuff that was expensive just because it was expensive, and I was like, why am I doing this? I'm spending money on something that, in my head, people are going, wow, this guy looks cool, but no one's doing that. And I'm like, it's only in my head. So I'm like, might as well get a watch that's fake gold that I like. It's only gonna have value to me. I might as well save money. All right, so my name is Houston White, and I am from Orlando, Florida. Yeah, I was always interested in art. I got into photography in high school, and I always liked different artists and going to museums and things like that. I only got into doing the art side of it rather than the photography side in college. So I did a series called Fool's Gold, and it was about the idea that the materialistic things in life are fool's gold, and the counterpart to that, to being real gold, would be family, friends, connection, and anything else like that. But I didn't want to tell people that everything that you buy is fool's gold either, because there is personal value in it. So it's really the question of what kind of value do you put in fool's gold. You can buy a watch or something like that, and if you're buying it for a reason of gaining power or status with your fellow friends or peers, then it's really, you're putting a fake value into it. But if you buy that watch because it's something personal to you, then it has a personal value to it. So it's that question of questioning yourself and deciding with yourself whether why you want to buy something, whether it's society, commercials, or if it's because of your own personal value in it. So at the beginning, I started doing a series about power, and I wanted to explore the different areas of power and how power is affected and how we seek to gain power in different areas of our life. And I found that it was too vague, and there's so many categories of where we seek out power. And I had to focus it down to like one type of thought, because power can go into so many different things, of manipulation, just even conversation. So I decided to do products and the power of products. And so then I actually discovered an artist that was doing something similar and creating large $100 bills, sometimes made of gold, sometimes of bronze. And he was analyzing money and saying it was a tool. And I found that very interesting, and I decided to come up with my series and call it Fool's Gold. And as the idea that money doesn't have the value in it, but yet it's a tool that you can use in life. First photo of my series is the headphones, and I did that for the connection of music as well. So this expands to a wide range of not just buying products, but also indulging in things. So music is something that I think a lot of people will listen to a certain type of music or a certain band or singer or something purely based off of their friends and what's on the media and what's popular right now, instead of exploring for themselves and finding something that's personal to them and connects to them. Trying to connect those two things of music as well as Beats headphones, which is a very popular product, and I think a lot of people who listen, especially rap, will say that Dr. Dre's Beats headphones is something you have to have, instead of just looking out and finding what they want for themselves, because there's plenty of headphones out there that can be better or just be more interesting to a person rather than just following with the flow. I don't know, I think my personal favorite from my series would have to be the American Girl doll. I struggled a bit with kids products, and I found certain things like there was like this Lego head that was on a mantle, and it was only meant to be on a mantle. And I found that very interesting, because a kid, when buying a toy, usually wants to play with a toy. And a toy that's designed just to sit on a shelf and show off at a young age is very interesting to me. But I think American Girl dolls are a very special kind of toy to girls, in a way of it's not a typical doll. You could buy any kind of doll, but if you have American Girl doll, it's something to talk about and something to show off. I honestly tried to get a G-Wagon because G-Wagons are very interesting to me, that they're an off-road vehicle, but everyone doesn't use them as an off-road vehicle. Everyone uses them as like a status thing of, look, I have a G-Wagon. But I decided to go with the Corvette, mainly because I couldn't get a G-Wagon, and the Corvette was still something that was iconic in shape. Final one, which is the Warhol's tomato can soups, and that was talking about art commodity. And I wanted a way to talk about my art being in a museum, of how it's also part of this idea of something that I'm not having in a museum to show off and to go, ooh, you know, I'm in a museum, but also to just for it to be art. It's something that's personal to me, it's valuable to me. But it also talks about not only my own art in a museum, but it talks about the art commodity, as in buying art, anything in the art world that people buy them in order to you know, save money on taxes, in order to do different things, or they just buy an art because it's popular and they throw it in their house and they go, look what I have, and they don't know the true meaning or value or have no personal meaning to that art at all, and they're just buying it for a popular status. So I think the art commodity is a very flawed area of people buying things because they're told to buy them and not buying them because that art speaks to them personally. There's a couple interesting things about the post-production. I took these, some of them with my camera, some of them with my phone in a store because, you know, I would take a lot to buy products and return them. But I found something that was very interesting while I was editing, and the process to turn things into gold. There's many different types of ways you could do it, and there's many different people teaching different ways to do it. And I found that when I did it my own way, of my own process of turning it into gold, I found that there was these little fragments that kind of fall apart as you get closer, and it starts to look a little more grainy and things start to blend into each other. And I think that really added to the topic, because if you're standing back from it, you're going to see a gold doll or a gold car. But as soon as you get closer up to it, you realize that it's a post-process thing and that the gold has been put on top of it and it's not actually gold. So I think that calls to fool's gold as well, of seeing something from afar and going, oh, that's gold, and getting up close and realizing that it doesn't have any value besides value that you put into it. So my favorite part about the series was that I added little pieces of pyrite and a little bowl that says, please take one. And this turned it into an interactive piece in the way that people can come up and they can take one. And they can decide whether or not they're going to keep it. And it's a very interesting thing, because it's what we're basically doing every time we buy a product, and we're asking ourselves, what's the value of this product to ourselves? And I had a lot of people come up to me and tell me like their reactions to it. And I had two that were very interesting. One who was a classmate of mine and went through a whole semester with me, so my art was very important to her and she thought it was very interesting. So she took the pyrite and she said that she was going to treasure it forever. She was going to put it on her shelf. And it would remind her of, you know, the semester or me or the art or anything else. So that's also a good way, because she's taking the fool's gold and she's putting the value into it. Another one was a professor of mine who decided, he said he took the gold and he looked at it and then he put it back. And I thought that was interesting, because he thought to himself that I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm just probably going to put it in my pocket, forget about it. Maybe I'll throw it away. Maybe I'll give it to someone else or something like that. So he felt that he had no value that he could put into this fool's gold, so he decided to put it back. Both are the correct reaction. It's about what the meaning is to you. So it's not about that everybody else is taking a piece, or that it's just there so you have to take one, or there's a sign saying please take one, so I should. It's about what it means to you and whether or not this little piece of pyrite has any value.